Yo, what's poppin', everybody? Welcome back to the podcast on the episode of Caffeine and Green with your man, Connor Cardenas. And per usual, before we get into it today, I just want to make sure you guys are heading on over to caffeineandgreenroasting.com today for all of your coffee needs. That's right. You can head on over to the website right now and purchase any one of the coffees that you can find on Instagram, on Facebook, wherever you can find it. Of course, I'm talking about that Issa blend, that morning sesh, and of course, the newest coffee that we have to offer, the Notorious. So all of those coffees are readily available. Head on over to caffeineandgreenroasting.com today. Also, if you guys haven't already, head on up to Oceanside, California, and stop in at my favorite coffee shop in Oceanside, which is called Steel Mill Coffee. That's right. I'm also roasting the coffee for Steel Mill, and I know all of my homies who are in the cafe every single day. Anna, Shay, Giles, Joel, and including myself. We would all love to see you. Come in, grab a cup of coffee, say what up, and just hang out for a second. So head on up to 605 Mission Ave in Oceanside, California. Steel Mill Coffee. All right. My guest today is a rad young man. He is a 155-pound defending champion of epic fighting, and he is quite the fighter. I have to say, I was first introduced to my man, Anthony DeSilva, two fight cards ago, and he had quite the fight with a up-and-coming star, and I just wanted to meet this gentleman. So he cruised by. He just defended his belt, and we talked about that. We talked about his future with epic fighting and also what he has planned for the future. So without further ado, my man, Anthony DeSilva. This is your time to shine, homie. Let's go. Give me caffeine and green. It's your boy Connor. What's good? Good. Caffeine and green. And we're live.
What's going on, brother?
Anthony DeSilva. Welcome to Caffeine and Green, sir.
I'm happy to be here, man. Thanks for having me.
Cheers. Dude, I always say, I like to cheers water more than anything else because it tastes so good. Like, even alcohol is tight. I know you don't drink, but
I don't drink, but I mean, dude, water's water, any kind. Plus, I drink a ton of fucking water. Like, I'm the guy that walks around with a gallon of water, so any flavored water, much appreciated.
Dude, yeah, Rebecca was telling me here that now sparkling water is like your new thing right now.
Yeah, man. My buddy put it on me for my last weight cut because I water load. Yeah. And he was like, oh, like, what kind of water do you drink? And I was like, water. What do you mean, what kind of water do I drink? And he was like, nah, bro, like sparkling water. It's carbonated. It'll fill you up a little bit more. Dude, I was fucking pounding those.
Game changer.
Yeah, game changer.
Yeah.
And it's like such a little thing that I'd never thought about. And I've cut weight so many times that I was like, how the fuck did I not know about this?
Dude, so yeah, before we actually get into it, too far into it, for like all the listeners who don't know who you are, this podcast is international. So we gotta let the people know who you are, what like why you're on the show specifically, and you are the defending 155-pound champion for epic fighting here in San Diego.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, like tell me more about this, like how you've defended the belt now. You're gonna defend the belt again in February.
Yes, I like the way you said that, the defending champion. Yeah. That's one of the first things I told Jason when he gave me the title shot was that I will defend your belt immediately, no questions asked, against whoever you want. That won't be an issue. We'll say yes to anybody it was. That's a big thing for me when you become a champion. So many guys, especially in amateurs, get the belt, they get the hard war, and like that's kind of it. And for me, it's so important to not only become the best, but also to prove that over the course of multiple fights. And I mean, as an amateur anyway, the whole point of this is to fight, is to get experience, compete. I want to fight the guys at the highest level. The best way to do that is to dangle a belt in front of them and tell them to come get it. So for me, I like that title, defending, almost as much as I like the world champion.
Yeah.
It's important to me.
How many times do you think, I mean, I'm assuming because you already had the plan of defending your belt. I mean, once you got it, you were going to defend it immediately. Do you want to defend one more time and then move on to something like Cage Warriors? Or are you trying to stay and like really trying to build this up?
Well, it was a weird situation because I knew I wanted to defend the belt once. So that was kind of the general plan. And then after that, we had a couple avenues we wanted to explore because I'm also the state champion. So I can't zero in on one spot for too long, obviously. And there's other shows that have been asking for us to compete there. But I like Epic. Epic's kind of home. I don't live in San Diego, but San Diego has always been pretty good to me up until this last fight. I love the show. Jason's awesome. Harvey's a great promoter. So for me, it all kind of just made sense. I made my debut there as well. So I like the show. I'd like to fight for them a couple more times if the time frame kind of worked out. But I have a couple other shows, a couple of the belts I want to put on the wall before before moving on and going pro. And that has always been the goal, is to go pro. And so it's kind of up to just when coach says, you're going to fight this guy here. And I say, okay. And that's really what it is. I let my coach, Malik, he does that the coaching for me, obviously, but he also is kind of like the management as well. And I trust his judgment entirely. So he tells me, hey, you're fighting this cat in this place at this time. And I show up on weight.
Do you ever, when you're getting ready for a fight, do you try to research your people, or do you just listen to your coach like, hey, this is where you're going, the dude you're gonna fight has this, but don't look him up, just know that that's what you're gonna expect? And then
I've never really been the ex-girlfriend kind of fighter where I study everything. I find their social media and I go through all their posts and I try to figure out, oh, he doesn't do this well, he does this that well. My coach he goes super deep. We're very big game planners. That's a really big thing for us. We like to feel prepared, and I believe hard work is important, but also hard work with meaning behind it. We like to study fighting, and we look at every fight as an opportunity to grow as a fighter. Right, so I know a lot of guys, and could be one of the most successful lightweights of all time, if not the most successful lightweight of all time. He doesn't care what anyone's doing. He just does his thing. He tells you what he's going to do, and then he goes and does it. I don't like that as much. I like to look at my opponent. Like the fight when I won the state title, dude, I got fucking sick and tired of that cat Maximilian, man, because my coach was emulating him day after day after day. He throws this kick well. He does this well. He's thrown this in X, Y, and Z fight the exact same way. So that's going to be a tendency he has. And I don't know. We study and we game plan specifically for guys, and that's what makes the pullouts and stuff so frustrating. Is we do hone in so specifically on who we're fighting and how to beat that guy, because we want to beat them spectacularly. And I don't look at myself as some above anybody else fighter. So I don't believe I could just willy-nilly go in there and beat somebody. You know what I mean? I like to prepare as hard as I can for that specific guy. And I love the mano-y-mano, one versus one thing about the sport. And so for me, it is anytime, anybody, anytime, anywhere. But also that guy. We both put our name on a piece of paper 2 months ago, and we've been preparing with each other in mind this whole time. So I've studied you. I've gotten everything that you do well. I've downloaded all that information. I've evolved, and I'm going to whoop your ass. You specifically. That's what I like. That's what I like.
Okay. Now, in doing this process, do you have a routine or something that you've done? I mean, you've obviously taken loss. What's your record again? It was
4-1.
4-1. Okay, so you've experienced loss, but you've had the highest of highs as well.
Oh yeah.
So in this five, your fight record, five fight record. Have you developed something like a pattern that you do every time before you're gonna win, before you're just to kind of get your mind right, or like a physical regimen that is specific, not just working out? It's something that you do to repeat, and you're like, damn, this is what I did to become successful. I'm gonna do it again.
The interesting thing about that is I've only had 5 fights, MMA fights. I have a ton of wrestling experience. I have a good amount of jiu-jitsu experience, and I've got about 4 or 5 fight camps that I never fought for, because we've had so many pullouts. My record should be around 10 fights, 10, 11 fights at this point. Oh damn is okay. Right. We've had so many fights, and I don't mean we signed or Harvey said, hey, you want to fight this guy? Yeah, I'll fight that guy. Oh, he doesn't want to fight you. Oh, shucks. I mean, I've been in the back with my hands wrapped, and I've had the officiator come up to me and go, hey, what's your opponent? I'm like, why the fuck are you asking me that? Aren't you supposed to get him? What do you mean and he just never showed up. So I've been at the venue with my family in line to get in, and had to go up to him and be like, hey, he never showed. I've had guys the week of the fight. I'm in the middle of cutting weight. Harvey calls Malik. Malik calls me, hey, he's not showing. We'll try to get you somebody. I've had title fights. I've had my first shot at the Epic belt was supposed to be a year and a half before it ever happened, before the pandemic, right before the pandemic, actually a couple months before that. I was supposed to fight a cat named Andy, and nothing. I'm 10 and a half pounds down, on weight, at work, dying, dude. I'm so close to this title shot that I've been working so fucking hard for. After 3 or 4 fights before that had fallen through. So I've already had to deal with that and go through the emotions of that. And then Harvey calls and goes, hey, your title fight's off, dude. He's not showing up. And I've had to watch the Epic card. 3 other champions got crowned that night, knowing I should have been in the fucking cage. I'm better than all those guys out there, and that's no disrespect to any of those fighters, but I really feel like I've never been on a card where I haven't been one of the top fighters on there. And when I finally did get that title shot, dude, I thought me and Max were 2 of the best fighters on that card. You take the 3 best fighters of that night, and we're 1 and 2.
Dude, I'm gonna be real honest with you. I mean, that was the reason. That's when you first popped onto my map, and I was like, dude, I was standing at like at where the fighter entrance is,
Mhm.
and I was watching your fight the whole time.
That's a good vantage spot, man.
Dude, right there, I watched you and that Maximilian kid, and like just straight from jump, the way he looked, like physically, he looked like he was about to fucking just wreak havoc. But then you came in, he rocked you like one time, but then bro, you just like bounced back, and then it was just like full on war. 3 rounds of war.
One word, dude, is composure. I have that in spades. Like I've heard a lot about that fight, and it was funny after the fight was over. It went to decision, obviously, and right before they called it out, I knew I won. 1-3, no doubts. And afterwards, I heard a lot of guys. I heard you and Harvey on the podcast talking about like they were dropping each other left and right, and I was like, damn, fights really take on a new level, like a new precedent after it happens. And I don't mean to insult anybody, but after a fight happens, I feel like we have a tendency to blow it up a little bit more. Because I've watched that fight back, and his butt hit the canvas one time, I think, because I dropped him.
Was it really?
Yeah, one drop the first round. I never got dropped. He never hit me with anything significant.
Really?
I had a gash over my eye, and I think a lot of people went crazy over it. We clashed heads. Oh. And I can show you, I can pull the fight up and show you the moment when it happened. But other than that, I dropped him one time, and he got right up. Flash knockdown, he got up. I wobbled him a couple times after that, but he's a good kickboxer, man. Coming out of Dubai, we studied him. We knew his kickboxing was high level. I have high level kickboxing, even though nobody knows about it. It was a technical fight, but I think the reason people thought that was because it was so fast, so high profile, so,
it was so
back
good.
and forth. And in MMA, I mean, there's shots. And I understand, like, from certain vantage points that maybe you don't see the shot take place. You see something thrown, you think the guy gets shot. But I was kind of upset after the fight because guys were talking about that. And the one thing I pride myself on is defense. I challenge someone to find a fight where I've been put down because it's never happened. I've never been wobbled. I've never been dropped. You know, my defense is as good as there is in amateurs. And, I mean, that's something that we focus on every day. And even when we're just doing basic mitts on the combos, man, Malik is constantly throwing shit at me, constantly making sure my defense is where it's supposed to be. So I appreciate that so many people love that fight, dude. But I was a little butthurt afterwards because people were saying how great of a fight it was. And I was like, man, I didn't even get touched, man. The commentators talking about the Matrix isn't downloading. And I'm like, dude, my glove's up, motherfucker. Like, you got knocked out in your last fight, man. What are you talking shit on me for?
Dude, no. I think, you know what? I think there's like, both sides are needed, right? Because like, dude, the way I remember watching it, it was, again, 100% will put you on my radar. And like, when I knew you were going to go up to against Leosh Lamoon, fucking on 11 days notice, I've actually met him a couple years ago, just like filming shit for jiu-jitsu. But I knew it was going to be a good fight because I was like, dude, I don't know. I've never seen him fight, but I was like, the dude he's going up against, holy shit! I was like, bro, that fool's about to bang. Like, yeah. But that was it was because of it could be my vantage point too, because it was like kind of blocked by like the pillar too. But every time you guys came into view, it was like.
Well, one thing I had to understand as well though is you guys are fans and it's a great fight and you're hype. And I thought about like, okay, well, what about when I watch fights? And I watch fights on TV. Yeah. So I have a better view than you guys do live, right? 100%. Live, the emotions are even higher. So I had to kind of take a step back and understand, like, okay, well, no one's trying to insult you or like anything like that. It was a great fight, and they don't know you. You know, they don't know who I am. They don't know who Max is. So to them, it was just two dudes went in there and went to war. Yeah. And I gotta appreciate that because that helps me out at the end of the day.
Yeah, because it makes you look like a fucking badass.
You goddamn right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like, dude, I felt like I was just a step ahead of him that night, and I think that he didn't know who I was. I think they kind of just expected to go in there and walk through us. Mm-hmm. And we knew. I mean, obviously, we knew who he was. His record on the broadcast was like 2-0 or 4-0 or something. That motherfucker was 8-0 when he got in there. If you go on camo, 8-0, 8-0 just here. That dude trains out in Dubai. I don't even want to know what his record is over there. We were pulling up kickboxing fights from him in Dubai, like. Dude was super high level, man. Yeah. And I was like, I'm about to go in here and say it, dude. You guys fucked up. You shouldn't have put me in here, man. You guys messed up. I want to tell Harvey, like, dude, look, thank you for the opportunity, but I'm sorry if you had anybody riding on this kid because he, like Harvey said, he was a big favorite.
Dude, no, super big favorite.
Yeah, I messed up a lot of plans that night.
Dude, hey, sometimes it's got to happen.
You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to do what you got to do, man.
So, okay, fast forward a little bit. You're winning the fight, and like, yo, I'm doing the event. I'm getting ready to, as soon as you guys are out of the cage, I got to start breaking down, getting the team together, all these things. Hey, shh. So we're talking. I'm like, okay, getting ready to do things. All of a sudden, I look up, and there's like a mic in front of your face, and and like my homie Fernando is in the cage, and I was like, oh, what just happened? I was like, what's going on here? And then all of a sudden, like, you're calling him out, and then you guys are doing the fight and like are doing the stance and stuff. And I was just like, oh, this is about to happen. I was like, oh, this is exciting.
Oh, this is good.
I was
one
like,
one thing. Okay, there's a little bit to unfold there. So the backdrop on that is I was supposed to fight him. I was supposed to fight Fernando, and he's not my favorite person in the world right now because, like I said, dude, it's a lot preparing for somebody. And I know Harvey was talking about, like, oh, I hope I hope Fernando knows what he's getting into because the Anthony kid is really good. Like I said, man, I don't think of myself as some superhero. I was real worried about Fernando. I knew you were talking about he had cement in his hands, man. I was worried. I was nervous. I was scared. I'm scared of him, dude. Like, he's a tough fucking dude. He's a real good fighter. I was going to bring my A game on him. Like, there was no known mistakes were going to be made on that cage. I was meticulous with the way that I was planning. And one of the things that GSP said was he was scared before he fought. Like Thiago Alves, he said he was terrified of that dude. He started shaking when Thiago Alves was in the same room as him because he knew how dangerous he was. And that made him compete at a higher level. And that's what I was ready to do, man. And when he pulled out of the fight, I was real butthurt about it. We took the fight against Leon, obviously on short notice. But yeah, right after the fight with Leon, I got my hands raised and I turned to Harvey and I apologized for the performance that I put in the cage because I knew it wasn't a good one. I knew I won the fight. I believe I won the fight, but it was a split decision. You can't be happy with yourself after a split decision. I see fighters fucking dancing around like they just won the Super Bowl after a split decision. Like, what the fuck are you dancing for, man? You lost on one judge's scorecard. You're running around like you're happy right now. Like, that's just not me, man. So I was already upset, and I was apologizing to Harvey, and he was like, "Look, dude, it's not important. Call Fernando. He's here. Call him out. Bring him in. Like, we're gonna bring him in the cage. Call him out." I was like, "All right, whatever, dude. Like, Harvey's asking me to do something. I'm gonna do it." So I called him out, and he walked in the cage, and I tried to be respectful to him. Tried not to be a dick or anything, but I'm upset with that the way that turned out because I've had, like I said, a lot of fights fall through in this amateur career, dude. And if we were professionals, it'd be a little bit different because you get paid.
yeah,
So we'd be compensated. But I go to work every day,
yeah,
and then I go train. I gotta juggle bills on top of going to fights I don't get paid for. Like when my eyebrow got split open, I was worried. Like, dude, I can't cover this, Harvey. I'm broke right now. Like, I didn't get paid this week because I'm cutting weight, getting ready to fight. Like, so every single fight camp matters. You know, I'm not being compensated for this. So every fight that someone doesn't show up to, dude, like, fuck that guy because I'm putting my time and money on this. And so when it doesn't come through, you're costing me money. You're costing my family money. Like, so I was happy with the promo that I cut. I tried to cut a promo for them. Tried to talk some shit. I feel like I'm pretty good. I got a big mouth, so I feel like I was trying to do that, trying to get the crowd hyped up. Plus, there was energy in there that night, man. People did not want me to win that fight. Leon's pretty popular, and he's a good dude. But yeah, I tried to do what I could. Harvey was like, "Call Fernando, I'll call Fernando," and then they put a mic in my face, and I was like,
dude, that was
"All
so
right,
crazy.
you guys messed up, man. Don't give me a mic and expect me not to say some shit. Don't do that."
Dude, yeah, no, I was so unsure about what was about to happen. I was like, dude, I've literally never seen this happen. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Neither did I. That's what I was saying, bro. Like, I was getting ready to walk out of the cage. I'm butthurt because it was a split decision. So I'm already all like, hey, I'm upset. And the crowd was booing and like this and that. And Harvey was like, call him out. And I was like, what do you mean call him out? And he's like, he's here. And then the first thing that goes to your mind is like, he's here, motherfucker. Why isn't he in here? Like, he was supposed to be in here. Why the fuck is he here? And then next thing I know, I don't know who the announcer was. I should feel real bad. I don't remember his name. He's asking me questions or whatever.
Kramer.
Yeah, good announcer, man. I was trying to answer his questions or whatever, and then they brought up Fernando, and Fernando came in, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to 10. I'm gonna go all the way with this, man. I'm gonna try to give him some. I'm gonna give somebody something to edit.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, well, regardless, you know, I want to see that fight. Like, I want to see, you know, for both people. Like, that's just because that's what you're doing, building hype for things. Dude, on an amateur level, like,
I feel like it's super important because it's if look at MMA right now, man. That's what you have to do.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like, dude, what you're doing you're the defending champ. You have multiple fights, 5 fights in Epic, so people know who you are. Now you're a champ. Now you're a defending champ. Now you're calling somebody out.
Yeah.
This is an amateur promotion, and yet I feel like when we're around it and when we're doing it, it's like it's on like some type of pro status.
Bro, that's why it's hard for me
feel
to take fights other places. I've had one fight at Sparstar, a little bit closer to us. That's where I dropped a decision as my only loss on my record. But at Epic, I'm basically spotless. No losses at Epic or whatever. And dude, the vibe there is always good. It feels like a pro show, man. I remember being in there and just like looking around, and I was like, why the fuck is it so bright in this cage? And they got these big ass spotlights in there, man, with like the camera. And I was like, dude, like I feel like I'm in the UFC right now. Like I feel like I'm in belt. Like this is a pro level show. It's a really good spot, man. He's doing big things.
Jason, the lighting's a big deal for Jason. We had an entire conversation about that.
I bet, man, because it's good. I was looking around like, damn, man. I was in the cage cutting that promo, and I was trying to find my family like in the crowd because they were like, oh, who do you want to thank, blah, blah. And I was like, I can't see shit. It's so bright in here that everything outside the cage is dark, pitch dark. I couldn't see anything. Like, that's how good the lighting and stuff is in there, man. They're really, you can tell they're meticulous with the way everything's going on. And I've seen Jason after the fights just gone, just sprinting around, trying to make sure everything is running the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, dude, that's the best part. I mean, that's, you're getting to do everything. You get to see everything you want to do. Maybe chill for a second, watch a fight, and then, like, get right back to work. It's fucking dope. I really like it. Dude, well, that's, back to the Fernando fight. So have you guys like officially agreed on it? Like, I know you guys said you're going to do it. Have you guys officially agreed?
No, I haven't talked to Harvey exactly on opponents. I want the Leon fight again. That's the fight I want, specifically because I didn't feel like I did enough. So this is the weird thing. I need you to take the championship away from this for a minute. I'm a competitor above everything else. I believe that there's 3 different things that mold general MMA fighters, boxers, combat athletes. There's a fighter, there's a competitor, and there's an athlete. And I feel like all of us are some combination of the 3. Take a guy like TJ Dillashaw. He's an athlete, a competitor, and then a fighter. Cody Garbrandt, fighter, competitor, athlete. Doesn't mean he's a bad athlete. He's a phenomenal athlete. But first and foremost, he's a fighter, and you see that when he fights. Justin Gaethje, fighter.
Yeah.
Nate Diaz, fighter. They're still competitors. They're still athletes. But generally, you have one above the other. I'm a competitor. And in my opinion, that fight's not over. I felt like I won round 1 and 3. He definitely He definitely won round 2, but round 1 was a toss up. So in my eyes, we're 1-1, and the first round was a toss up. He won 2, I won 3. I want round 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You know what I mean? I'll fight him until I definitively have shown that I'm better than he is. And he took it on 11 days notice. And
11
again,
days.
I don't wanna bash Fernando because he's your boy. And not just that. I think he's a good guy. I got no reason to dislike him other than the fact that he...
No, and it's not bashing. It's like, dude, no, he's a homie for sure.
For sure.
But it's like, we're also just having a conversation. So
yeah.
it's like, it's all good.
As the way I look at it, I know Harvey and them want that fight. I wanted the fight. I signed up for the fight. I was in the cage when I was supposed to be. Like I always am. Every time I put my name on the dotted line and they don't run away, I'm there. Every single time, without fail. Yeah. Harvey knows that. Every fight they've given me, every contract they've given me, I've signed. I'm there when I'm supposed to be there. I will be there when I'm supposed to be there. If that guy's not, like I said, man, as an amateur, that costs me a lot. And just because you have a last-minute replacement and everything, that doesn't, look at this last fight. It wasn't a good fight. It just wasn't a good fight from technical standpoint. It just wasn't good. And I'm not going to make the excuse of it was a short notice fight, even though it was. That's just not who I wanted to fight. That's not who I prepared for. That's not the situation that I wanted. I wanted a really good boxer. I wanted to go in there kickbox. I wanted to go out there and have some offensive wrestling. Instead, you flip the script and you give me a wrestle heavy guy. It's a completely different game plan. And it was literally the anytime, any place kind of thing where it was like, all right, fuck it. We're going to throw everything we just went over out the window and you're going to have to just go fight that guy.
Yeah.
And I feel like I edged him. But it was close, and I feel like he deserves a rematch. He was 3-0. Yeah. I think him and Fernando had the same record, but Fernando was a little bit more of an exciting fighter. He was recent. He'd fought a lot more recently, and he's finished guys. Yeah. That's why I said yes to him. When Harvey gave us that fight, we didn't pitter-patter about it. Malik called me up. He said, hey, this is the guy. And I was like, okay, I figured it was going to be him. I had been watching Fernando for a little while. Like I said, I'd seen him do his thing, and I was excited as a competitor.
Yeah,
that's the guy that I want to wake up for, right? He's got the cement in his hands and all that stuff. I was like, yeah, I want to fight that guy because he can knock me out. I know he can knock me out. Yeah. I want that challenge. Like, I want to go out there, and I want to put him on his ass.
Dude. So do some like Stipe Miocic fucking just weathering the storm from Francis Ngannou.
Yeah, man, that's what I felt like. So I wanted that fight a lot, but as far as what's next exactly, I'm not 100% in control of that. That's up to my coach. But I've said that what I would like is the Leon fight back. As a competitor, I want that fight back, and I would rather get stripped of my belts, but get that fight than move on as a champion and go fight somebody else because he won a round from me. So he on one judge's card he beat me, but he also took rounds from me. So there's one guy that's walking around going, I beat him. One judge thought I beat him. A lot of people in the crowd thought I beat him. I don't want that guy. I don't want anybody walking around saying they can do that.
Yeah.
So I'll fight him again.
Okay. And plus, you'll give him like a full camp this time. I mean, giving him a full camp, 2.5 months. I mean, it was because I've seen what he can do before.
Mm-hmm.
I was very surprised that like with how, I mean, dude, I have video like of being up in the crowd, like next to the cage, and the speed and rate at which both of you were throwing strikes was like, holy shit, matched pretty well. And on 11 days notice, I was like, wow, the fact that he is like ready, he didn't have like a drastic weight cut. That just shows that dude was ready.
He was on point.
But you're primed. You're ready too. So like for you to adapt and like to pivot, it says a lot, bro.
The other thing too, I'm a big fan of Corey Sandhagen. If you're an MMA guy, you know that, and he fought recently. Mm-hmm. He lost a fight to Aljamain Sterling, who's the current champion, with asterisks by that, I guess. But he points to that fight where he got taken down immediately and submitted. He said that one of the things he had to go over mentally was he went out there and he just wasn't amped. He tries to be calm and cerebral when he goes out there, but he said for that fight he was just flat, and he couldn't really jump around. He wasn't really like talking to himself. He just kind of waltzed in, showed up, and then Aljo came in sprinting around, and he was thinking like, oh, that guy's ready. He's yelling, he's jumping around, he's going around. That's the way I felt for that fight. It was very weird. They rushed us out there. I don't ever want to be a main event for Epic again. We were in the back, we're the last people back there, and then they go, okay, you guys are up, go. And the walkouts were shit. We're in the back, and they're putting the stuff on our face, and like, go, get in there, fight. No announcements, really. They're just like, you ready? You ready? Fight. I visualize a lot. I visualize a lot about this sport, and one of the big things that I visualize is the walk. How is that going to feel? Getting my body right, my mind right, saying goodbye to your cornerman, turning, getting the stuff on your face so you don't cut easily, getting into the cage, feeling the cage out, controlling your breathing, going through the calls, going through when they announce us, our records, our opponents. I visualize all that stuff, man, and it was just very sudden, very rushed, very like, and we're fighting, and I just mentally was not ready.
Yeah.
And that's on me. Above all else, there's no. I'm not blaming Epic. I'm not blaming Jason. I'm not blaming Leon. I'm blaming myself. You know, I was not mentally ready to fight. But I think that you see the adjustments that I can make in a split second. He got an early takedown. I'm throwing submissions up. Anybody else, tap out. He just wasn't going to tap that night. Yeah. He was going to go to sleep. And I was fucking this close so many times to putting him out, man. He was gurgling. His face was turning purple. I just couldn't put him to sleep. But that's one of the reasons I thought I won the fight, even though he had success wrestling against me, which nobody else has. Max took me down once, got a little bit of control time, never passed my guard, never landed any significant damage. Leon was attempting guard passes. He was wrestling really well. I got to give him props to that. That's another reason I want to fight him again. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I don't want a guy walking around there being like, oh, I can out grapple that guy. I can do this or that, man. But that whole fight is just very unsatisfactory to me. It's a win, but it feels like a loss, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, but now you learn from this. You know, you never take an L. You just learn.
You just learn. So we're amateurs. That's what this is for.
Exactly. So you go back in, like, did you take some time off? Like, you know, after, I mean, it still was a fight regardless. You went the distance, and, you know, you got tossed around, but you tossed him around. You guys went all at it.
For sure. I make it sound a little bit worse than it is sometimes because that third round was brutal. And I, at the time, thought it was a 10-8. I thought I controlled the entire round minus the last, like, 2 seconds. I had him in danger of being submitted, in danger of being finished multiple times.
Dude, the third round was noticeable.
Yes, and I feel like the first round was razor tight. Are you going off of control, which he had minimal of, even though he was on top, or are you going for submissions? Because I'm constantly putting him in danger. He never was close to finishing me. And that's one of the weird things about MMA scoring. Are you going after the guy who's looking for finishes, or are you going after the guy who's trying to control? And I've been the guy who's won fights off control time, so I understand how frustrating that is. But I think most of the time in our sport, they go for which one are you trying to finish the other guy? On the feet, I walked him down. I don't remember taking a back step. I walked him down the whole time. On the ground, my guard game was way better than his. When that third round, like you said, it was noticeable because he was just laying there like a fish, not doing anything, not getting up, not moving around. A part of that was his gas tank, and again, on 11 days' notice, you're gonna have to. You're gonna have to give that guy his edge. So, it was just a weird.
Dude, yeah, I mean, like, it's because the hype was so big. Because I noticed it. Like, I'm also an MMA fan, so like, I also like doing research about you guys. You know, not just running the show and shit, but it's like, getting to know the fighters and seeing what you guys do, and like know how exciting you guys both are. It's like, this is gonna be tight. But then you can also, because being an MMA fan, you watch so many fights, you can tell when a dude is on top. And like, again, no shade to Leon, but like that third round, you were like landing significant strikes. I even believe maybe you were in like, did you get a full mount at one point?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, it was, oh, damn, this is okay.
Yeah.
You know
that's
what
where
I
the
mean?
arm triangle came from. And then on the arm triangle, I thought I had him dead to rights. I was waiting for him to go to sleep. And maybe if I had been a little bit more patient with it, he would have. But again, I didn't know how they had scored it. Yeah. I'm trying to get him out of there. So.
And plus, it's like that no-gi jiu-jitsu, so it's like you're slipping a little bit.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
but I mean, again, man, I don't want to take anything away from him. And you know what's weird about it, man? I feel like if we were different weight classes, we'd be good friends. He seems like a cool guy. Dude, I got nothing against him. He's such a cool dude.
Nice.
But I want to fuck him up, man.
I know.
As
I get
a competitor.
it. I get it. Like, dude, I feel like if, take the competitive edge out of it,
nothing but respect.
Yeah. He's such a rad dude. And, like, I think it's, being very fortunate that I get to meet all the fighters because, like, I like to just have conversation with everybody because it's like, bro, I know that, like, you guys might end up fighting at one point one day, but it's like.
But even that isn't, you know what I'm saying? I've never had a personal fight in the cage. To me, like I said, it's competition. I'm a competitor. Yeah. I don't like fighting. Like, if I go outside right now and some dude bumps into me, flips me off, I'm going to go, have a good day, fuckface. Like, I'm at, you know what I mean? I'm not going to fight you right now. You gotta really put hands on me to get me to fight you in real life. Like,
dude, yeah.
I'm not an aggressive guy. I feel like I'm pretty laid back for the most part. I might be the most dangerous person in the room, but I'm also probably the most passive guy in the room. But
because you know what kind of damage you can do.
Yeah, because I know
that's
a fuck. Yeah, man, fighting sucks.
Dude, I mean, the fact that, I have one of my homies, and I mean, like, I've gotten to train with some of my friends who are pro fighters, like Manuel Medina, his older brother. But, like, when you get hit with those 4-ounce gloves, bro, dude. Oh my God, it is so much different when you're fighting with those 16-ounce or. And
defense is so much different. You see that a lot. Guys that aren't ready to put on the little gloves, man, they put their hands up, and that shit's not there. We don't have shields on our hands,
dude. And it just like rocks your whole head. How long, after a fight, do you feel like a little off or at all?
Well, like I said, man, I feel like my defense is pretty good. I try not to eat too many of those shots to the head, so I've never had after fight headaches or anything. I've had after sparring headaches. Oh yeah, dude, because we spar with some bad dudes. I've never had a fight that's as bad as my sparring sessions. That's for sure. I've had after the day after sparring sessions, waking up feeling like shit. But for fighting, I'm just sore the next day. It feels like a hard wrestling practice for the most part. It's nothing it's nothing crazy.
Okay.
Plus, not to be a dick, but most of them have gone my way. So no matter how I'm feeling, I'm happy. You know what I mean? Most of the time, I wake up in a good mood.
Yeah, you're like, this pain is worth it. It's a good pain.
But I get to go eat, so let's go get some pancakes and show these belts off, man. I'm feeling good.
Dude, how long do you eat? I mean, you don't drink alcohol, so I imagine that your like go-to would be to eat like some naughty food.
Yeah, pancakes, dude. Normally after the fights, we'll go to a Denny's or something out here and order fucking breakfast. I just get pancakes, ice cream, more than I can eat. Are usually the big ones the day after the fight. I'm going to IHOP, that kind of thing. But I don't know, man. Ice cream is normally like my go-to. Like I said, I mean, I don't drink, but I also don't eat like great. Like, I'm not super stingent on it. I just work out a lot. Like yesterday, I had a three practices in a day. Nothing like too crazy, so I feel like I can eat like a normal person most of the time. Yeah. And I feel like that's a big thing people try to do. They'll ask me like, "Oh, what do I eat? What am I supposed to eat?" Eat like a normal fucking person, and then work out more than a normal person does.
There you go.
You can't outwork a bad diet, that's for sure. But if you eat like a normal person, like let's say like 90% of my meals are just whatever meals, and then I have ice cream for dessert, that's fine. If I have a healthy breakfast and a bad lunch, dude, my day, like let's say I don't know what the fuck you would eat. I usually have oatmeal with peanut butter for breakfast. So
buttery.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, it's a good breakfast. Let's say I have In-N-Out for lunch. Yeah. I'm not going to die. Yeah. I got practice. That's damn sure. I know I got practice.
Got to get that cardio.
Yeah, man, yeah, it's going to mess my cardio a little bit. But.
Oh, my goodness. Dude, okay. Let's pause real quick.
Okay.
We are back. Boom. Dude, you know what's funny? I was just thinking about this. I'm like, dude, I don't even want to ask you if you want to go pro because it's obvious that you do, but you're like, it's interesting when you describe how you're so driven and how you kind of like, you're almost strategic very much in your planning, you know? With that being said, when you got into fighting, was it just based on pure love or was it like the whole time you've been like, nope, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this. I'm going to reach this goal. I'm going to move on. And then I'm going to go pro.
Man, do we got time? Because that's a story.
Dude, I want to know. Lay it on me.
So fighting specifically, especially MMA, that was never the the goal. I'd love to say I had like since I was 6 years old, I knew I was going to do this, but that's not the way it went. But what I did know is I knew I was going to be this person. That this is the person I wanted to be when I was younger. I went through a couple things, when you're younger, and as a product of those things, I had abandonment issues. I had severe depression, and most importantly, the most important crux and the worst thing of all was just I didn't believe in myself. I had no self-confidence, and I don't mean like low self-confidence. I mean like no self-confidence. Not only that, my family, not just my immediate family, but my extended family as well. Almost everybody across the board has at one point had a mix with drugs. Some of them aren't with us anymore. Some of them are with us, but not there. Mm-hmm. They never got out of the cycle. Some of them are still struggling with it. And I don't mean that they're using, but I understand that that's a battle that you're going to have to go through the rest of your life. And so I was always worried, like, well, is that what I'm meant to be? Like, I already feel shitty about myself. I already don't like myself. And these are like 8-year-old conversations, mind you. Like, I'm a kid looking around me going, dude, I'm fucked. Like,
this is at 8 years old you were thinking this?
Yeah, 8 years old. 7, 8 years old thinking like, dude, I'm fucked. Because
Yeah.
at that point, my parents had split. They had me when they were in high school. They'd split. I moved. I was living with my biological mom and my stepdad. They ended up having 2 more kids, so I had 2 stepsisters. We got taken from them. I got put into foster care. My dad ended up getting me out of foster care. And then at that point, when I moved in with my father, I was about 6. I want to say 5 or 6. And from that point, 5, 6, I didn't see my biological mom, again until I was 21. Yeah, that was a big blow for me because as a kid, like I said, when my parents had me and they split, I moved in with my mom. And I obviously heard my stepdad. He was a very abusive guy, and we didn't get along, obviously. He was abusive in a number of ways that I'm not going to get into. So for me, losing my mom, doing visits with her with the person in the corner writing notes down about our visit, it was hard. And then losing her entirely made me very, I don't even know what the word for it would be, man, but I would look at myself and be like, dude, you have a face not even your mom could love. Like, what is so bad about you as a person? Like,
That's what you would say to yourself?
Yeah.
Stop playing.
Nah, man.
That's what you said.
Yeah, to myself. Yeah, because how wouldn't I? I moved in with my father. That's not my dad. I was, 6 or 7 before I got to know the guy. So, like, as 6 or 7, man, I'm thinking, like, I'm living with a guy I don't know. He had another one, my stepmom, who would end up becoming, I don't even want to say a mom. She would be becoming more of a mentor than anything as I've grown up. But at the time, that was my stepmom. You're not my mom. We clashed heads forever, like bad, man. And it was a shitty situation back then. And that we're at 7 or 8 right now. And I'm already thinking like your mom doesn't even love you. Like your mom's out of the picture. You live in with people that you don't know and they already have kids. Mm-hmm. So how are they ever going to love you? They already have kids. I have a brother and a sister at that time, Mandy and Alan Jr. And at the time, it was hard not to look at them and be like, dude, I wish I was you. I wish I lived with my actual parents.
You're like jelly.
A little jelly. You know what I mean? So it was hard back then. But the one thing, and as I grew up, I would learn that I'm assuming we all have this internal voice that would always tell me what I could be. And I was a big pro wrestling fan when I was younger. I'm sure that kind of is obvious by the way I talk now. When I get a microphone in front of me, I start running my mouth a little bit. Oh my goodness. I always wanted that. The guy, in the spotlight. And I think that comes from the abandonment issues. I never felt like I could get enough attention. So I would do stupid things to act out to get that attention that I was seeking. And so growing up, I always was looking for what am I good at? What am I good at? Nothing. You're not good at anything. You suck at everything. And I was a small kid. I was a premature baby when I was born. I was born 3 months early, real small. For a week, I lived in the NICU. Didn't know if I was going to make it or not. So, like, whoa. Dude, as a kid, I was tiny. I was tiny. My girl and I went to elementary school together. And at the time, I was smaller than her. I was shorter than her.
Damn, you guys have known each other that long?
Yeah, we've known each other for a while. She's been here for a minute.
Yo, that's so dope. Wait, when did you guys meet?
3rd grade.
3rd grade?
3rd grade.
So what is that, 9?
Something like that, man.
Dude, wait, that's like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Dude, holy shit.
Yeah.
Damn, you guys are homies.
It's been through some shit.
Dude, that's so amazing. Wow, and you guys are like, I think more so than like growing up together, you're growing together.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure, being homies since that young, you guys have seen each other go through stages.
Yeah, my family ended up moving to Long Beach when I was in the 6th grade, going into middle school. So we reconnected in high school, and then our entire adult lives have basically been dating. The year that we graduated, we started dating, which was 2016. So, yeah.
Wow.
We've known each other for a long, long time.
Wow. What does that feel like?
It's tough sometimes because I know I can't get away with shit.
Yeah.
I can't lie. I can't, like, and not even, like, big things, dude. I mean, like, did you take the trash out? Like, yeah, I took yeah, for sure.
It's like, fuck.
I'll be right back. Like, you know what I mean? I know I can't get away with nothing, but no, it's cool having that person you can kind of depend on, you know, and not feel weird. Like, the stuff I'm telling you right now, she's sitting right next to me, and I don't have to feel weird about it because she knows.
Yeah. 100%.
It's nice having that person that knows and that won't judge you. And that was a big thing that I struggled with for a long time was like, dude, if I really open up about, like, what the fuck, why I'm so fucked up sometimes, like, you know, what is somebody going to think about me? And it goes back to that kid that was like, dude, your mom doesn't even love you. Like,
yeah,
these people don't like you. Like, how the fuck is anyone actually going to care about you? Your own mom didn't love you. Like,
well, how did you get past that?
I never said I did, man.
No, you still battle with that.
Yeah, it's something I've gotten a lot better at. Like, as I grew up, my dad, when I was in high school, ended up he had to go through drug court and stuff, so I lost him. And my stepmom and I never got along.
Yeah.
Never got along. Obviously, it was a Cinderella kind of story. And my mental state didn't make that any better. You know, I made myself a victim of a lot of situations. I was a hard kid to deal with growing up. And now in retrospect, I can see that and appreciate, you know, the people that stuck with me through that. And she was always there. And whether it was in fuck you mode, you know, I'm going to make your life hell because you're a little asshole, or I'm proud of the man that you've become mode. She's been, like I said, more of a mother. But I don't even feel like that's the right title because a mom is supposed to be there because, you know, that's your mom. You're born and she loves you. I wasn't her son. She basically adopted me and dealt with a little fuck face for about 20 years before I started to get my shit together. So, like, saying that she's my mom isn't even really, like, a good enough credit. But we battled until my dad went to drug court, and then we lost him for a while.
Yeah.
Because he's going through drug court. He's trying to get his stuff together, which he did, by the way. And nobody's more proud of him than I am, which is weird saying about your dad. You know what I mean?
No, that's respect, dude.
But, yeah, like, seeing the stuff that he went through is mind-blowing, and it helped shape me. You know, if he's good at anything, man, it's working his ass off. That dude will work until he drops, and that's something that I've taken from him. So when I lost him in high school, you know, me and my stepmom all of a sudden had to kind of turn around and be like, wait a minute, I kind of need your help. You know, like, we looked at each other and we leaned on each other, which is kind of like, that's the last person I thought would have my back.
So she became your legal guardian when you lost your dad?
I don't know if she's my legal guardian.
Oh, wow.
We've never even had that. I don't think we've ever had that conversation.
But you were already 18, so I guess technically you were an adult.
Yeah. It was about I want to say like 15, 16 is when he got put into drug court and had to start going through the process of having to, you know, live in a home and start trying to get back up on his feet. So I was in high school. I would think I was a sophomore when he went away. So like I said, my high school experience was basically trying to help my mom take care of my brother and sisters. At that point, my youngest sister Desiree was already born. So we were trying to figure out how to make that work, and we grew and bonded a lot during that time. And throughout all this, I still had that vision. Like, I know what I want to be, but what is that? Like, I want to be the guy. I want to be in the spotlight. I want to have people look up to me because I'd never had that, and I never felt like I deserved to have any. Why would someone look up to you? You don't have all A's. You're not that smart. You're athletic, but you don't win. And that was a big thing for me mentally was when I was a junior in high school, I started to compete in wrestling. I was a football player for most of my life before that, and I fell in love with wrestling. I don't know what it was, but just the thought of like a one-on-one. Because like you had said earlier, you know, the strategic part of life, I've always had that. You know, I can break somebody down, I feel like. And I feel like my mind is a weapon a lot of people didn't use. And I think a part of that is, like I said, when I was having these fucking deep-ass conversations with myself at 8 years old, I learned a lot about my mind and the way it works at an early age. And I tried to use that to shape my life, and I planned things out in advance. So when I found wrestling, I really fell in love with that. But I wouldn't win, which was a weird thing, was I would work my ass off in practice, and I'd get on the mat, and I would look at that guy and go, I don't deserve to beat him.
Damn.
He's probably got a family that loves him. I don't.
You just psych yourself out, self-sabotage.
Yeah. I would, you know what, it's embarrassing to say, but if I saw kids at the tournament with their families, dude, it would break me.
Ooh.
Bad. Because I'd be like, they're here like supporting their son, man. Yeah. I don't got anybody in my corner, and it would fuck me up, dude. And I would get on the mat just like, here we go.
Yeah.
How can I beat this kid? Like, how can I why do I deserve to beat this guy? And it took me a long time to kind of unpack those things and start to be like, no, man, you outwork these fucking kids. You run laps around these kids. You know, you work harder than everybody. I don't party. I don't drink. I've never drank, never smoked, never done any of that. I knew I was going to be straight edge when I was 10, 11. I didn't even know what the phrase straight edge meant. But at that point, I had already decided, you know, I'm in middle school deciding I'm never going to do drugs. I'm never going to drink. I'm never going to party. I'm not going to have sex until I'm out of high school because I've seen what the fuck happens. I was born like my parents were in high school when they had me. They were on drugs. They drank. Everybody in my family has done drugs. They've drank. I'm not going to do those things. Yeah. And I mean, it kind of just like, it became a snowball effect. And then my dad got out of drug court, man, and we became so fucking tight. And he helped so much because he was in a place where he wanted to make it right to us, his kids. That was his driving force to stop using. And so I had somebody going to my wrestling tournaments. Dope. I had someone going to see me compete, and I was like, I can't lose. This motherfucker's right here, man. I've been complaining for years. No one's coming to see me. He's right there. Yeah. I can't lose in front of him. And it's ironic that I grew up that way, and I felt like I had nobody in my corner, dude, because my fucking family shows out when I compete. Mm-hmm. And it helps so much going out there and hearing them and seeing them in the cage. I get in the cage, I look and I see them, and I go, you're not beating me. They're right fucking there. I'm not losing in front of them. Like, you can't beat me in front of them. Yeah. We're too strong as a unit. And it's kind of crazy the way things have gone full circle with that, man, from going to being the kid that was like, your mom doesn't even love you, dude. Like, you got no chance, to being like, your family's here backing you up. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I'm trying to be that influence for my siblings, even though I feel like I fail at that a lot because it's hard. And I see, you know, who they are and what their potential is. And I feel like I kind of pale in comparison sometimes.
Like, you're comparing yourself to your younger siblings and thinking they're better than you almost?
Yeah. Because I'm like, my sister's smarter than I was. You know, she did a lot better in high school than I did. My brother, you know, everybody gets on him, you know, because he doesn't like school and all that. But I'm like, I didn't like school. And now all of a sudden everybody's saying, like, oh, look what Anthony's doing. Well, when I was his age, I was failing in school. And I had these bullshit dreams. You know, he wants to be a streamer and play video games and do that stuff, man. When I was that age, I was talking about wrestling after high school and doing that. And people were looking at me like, this is a bad idea, dude. You know, when I told my parents I wanted to be a fighter, I graduated and I had no plans. And they were like, you're not drinking. You haven't had a kid yet. You're doing great. Go to college. Yeah. Like, you're right there, dude. Like, this is the last step. None of us could do it. You can do it. Like, you can be the one. And I had to look at them and be like, no, because I have this weird thing that's telling me to compete. And I don't know what it is. And I have no success to back this up, by the way. I was a good high school wrestler. I was a captain. Not great. Didn't go to state. Didn't do none of that. But I feel like I can fucking make this work. I outwork these kids. I'm mentally stronger than them now. Like, I can make it work. And from there, dude, like, since I graduated high school, my mom and dad kind of took the chance and went, okay, if you're not going to go to college, you better work your fucking ass off then. Like, you better treat this like a job. And the thing that I got from my parents more than anything, man, my dad, like I said, he's the hardest worker in any room he's in. And myself, he's the hardest. I've worked with him. He's the hardest worker in any room he's in. And my mom taught me, man, there's no excuses. When I come home, your chores are done. No excuses. I don't care if someone shot this house up. No, that shit better be done. Your homework should be done. There is no excuses, man. Like, earthquake, the house is falling apart. Whatever I told you to do, that shit should be done. Like, there is no excuses. And that's one of the things, like the Leon fight, man. People were telling me, like, oh, it was on 11 days notice and you didn't prepare for it. I was like, there's no excuses. I should have been better. There's no excuse. And there is.
I mean, there's kind of, like, excuses, honestly, but, like a little bit.
But like, mentally, that's where I'm at, where, like, there's no excuses. Yeah, you just got to be better.
You're holding yourself to a higher standard. And, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, dude. Yeah. Like, 100%, the fact that you essentially wanted this for yourself, you've thought about this, maybe not necessarily being strategic with it because you just kind of went at it like, fuck it, I'm going to throw it, caution to the wind. Yeah, because you decided at 18 to do this.
Mm-hmm. I knew I wanted to do it. I'd been watching MMA for years, and like I said, I was a big pro wrestling fan. Mm-hmm. My dad has been a UFC fan since it started, since the inception. He's loved MMA the whole time. And I was kind of drawn to it because he liked it, and I wanted him to like me. So I kind of wanted to be like, I could be a fighter. But again, we're talking about the small, derpy little kid who can't even fucking do 10 push-ups. And the kid who is the fastest in his class but always gets second because he doesn't want to win. And that's one of the weirdest things. So it was weird for me to be like, oh, I could be a fighter. No, you can't, dude. Have you seen the first UFC? Those dudes are jacked. You're not beating those guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, dude, the fact that you went at it, a mediocre wrestler, you start training at 18. Mm-hmm. How long from 18 to your first fight? How long did you train for?
My first fight, I would think, was 2019. 2019. I trained at a UFC gym to start out with, which was a bad idea. Don't train at the UFC gym. They're not good. After that, I trained at Babalu's Iron Gym in Cerritos. Babalu Sobral, he was in the UFC, became a Strikeforce champion. I trained a lot there. That was another year and a half. I got my blue belt under him. That was where most of my stand-up came from, Muay Thai. And then after that, my mom and I got into it a little bit, and I got kicked out, moved into my uncle's house, and that's where I met Malik. I was working 12 hours a day in LA. I was running and doing push-ups and hitting a bag, but I had no direction, and I'm working 12-hour days, like I said. And I found him like on Instagram reel or an Instagram ad. And I was like, I need a boxing coach. Like, will you meet me up or whatever? And dude, he told me that after my first session, he was like, this kid sucks. This kid's got so many fundamental problems. Like,
oh, damn.
But I wanted to train. So he was like, all right, I'll pay to coach you. But like, whatever. Like, I'm assuming at that time he thought like, whatever, just a client. And then I bugged him every day since. Since I started fighting, started training with him, I think that was probably about 2018. I think I've had maybe like 2 weeks off total since then.
Just hitting mitts with him and stuff, or just training with him in general?
Just training.
Damn.
Like, we don't really take times off, and most of that time off has been after this last fight because it's been such a roller coaster that I've had a couple he's told me like, you're not allowed in the gym. Like, stay the fuck home, relax, unwind, enjoy this because I don't enjoy my wins enough. Enjoy this, and we'll figure out what comes next, and we'll get you back in camp and stuff. But
are you becoming obsessive about it in a sense?
With fighting?
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Like,
yeah,
I could tell by the
badly.
way you're talking about it. Like, I understand you're obsessed with fighting, as you are. You're a champion and you're winning.
Yeah. Not winning good enough. That's how bad it is.
But you're obsessive in the sense that like you're not enjoying your wins. It's like that's something I've been I've been told that a lot about myself as well. I do that a lot because I'm always critiquing myself. I don't have so much of I don't mean this in a negative way. Like I don't have as much of that talk, but I have that, some negative talk as well.
Oh yeah.
But I'm also, a lot of people have told me like, dude, you don't
stop complaining,
this.
bitch. You just won. Like, what the
Dude.
fuck are you crying about?
Yeah.
Dude, I get that a lot. My sister gets on me because like they're proud and they want you to be like, I won, yay.
It's like, nah, son, I already know what I did wrong.
Yeah, like, nah, that was like I said, man, the first thing I told Harvey after the fight was, I'm sorry. That wasn't a good enough performance. He's like, shut the fuck up, kid. Like,
dude, yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's the competitor, man. And I think it's a blessing because, like I said, man, that 7-8-year-old having those conversations with myself, dude, I'm my own biggest critic.
Yeah.
By a mile.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing anybody on Instagram says, no commentator says, no fan says it's gonna hurt my feelings. You're gonna hurt my feelings? Yeah. What? Because you said my jab wasn't good enough? I know it's not good enough. I'm working on it right now, bitch. Like, relax. Give me.
But at the same time, it's like I was in there too, son. So fuck you.
Yeah. So like, yeah. If you really got a problem, like we could do something about it. But like, dude, you're not gonna critique me worse than I critique myself. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's just not gonna happen.
Because you're gonna be watching it back from multiple different angles. Like you got your coaches who might be filming it, or they're just watching you, and then you got like the actual our stream, so you can watch it from multiple different angles, evaluate it any which way you want, pick it apart. And then you're just like, okay, this is what I need to work on.
And I have no yes men. That's a big thing. My coach, looks at me after the fight like, man, we got shit to work on. Like, what the fuck were you doing here? What the fuck were you doing there? Like, in this position, why did you do that? Like, he does not hold back. And I love that. He's real good about like, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. And it was a split decision, dude. Like, don't run around cheering. Don't do nothing. Like, it was a good fight. You got the job done. But you were supposed to. We go into every fight like that. Like, after I beat Max, and everyone's like, dude, you did it. 8-0 kid coming from Dubai, like, holy shit, dude. And we were like, yeah, no, I know. You're congratulating me for doing my job. It's the same way, like, I don't know, if you sell houses and everyone goes crazy about it because you made a sale, and you're like, yeah, no, that's my job. Or like,
I mean, they might because they'd be making some commission.
You're making some bank
you're making some cash.
But
so.
I mean, like, as far as I'm in, I just clocked in and clocked out. Like, that's what I'm supposed. I go in there to win. I didn't go in there to compete. I went there to win.
So, with this mindset takes you to the next level. Where do you see yourself? Like, what, ideally, if you had your pick of the way, which, I mean, honestly, life is going to throw you some zigzag,
Oh, yeah.
But your ideal, in your perfect world, what would be your ideal path?
You mean like one of those 5-year down the road plans, or you mean like a more immediate roadmap?
I would say within the next 2 years, because I imagine you're probably going to defend your belt. You maybe take a couple more fights with Epic, but if other people are calling it, other people are seeing the style and this the skill, then it's like it seems like some people get fast tracked
Mm-hmm.
to pro status, but it seems like you're not going to take that easy road. Like you want to earn it, and then where would you want to be at? Like end up at like one or like Bellator, UFC, anything like that? Is that too far ahead?
No, it's not too far ahead. Like the first thing you said is defending your belts, and for me that was a big thing because most amateurs. I mean, after I won the belts, after the fight, a couple guys came up to me and like, "You're gonna go pro now?"
See,
No,
that's what I'm saying.
no, bitch, I gotta defend these. Like
Yeah.
I won them, but I'm not the champion until like I defend my straps or whatever. And then, like I said, man, as a champion, I'm the one calling guys out. I'm the one saying I want to fight that guy. Like when the Fernando thing, I was like, yeah, I'll fight that guy. I want to fight that guy for sure. I want to fight that guy. Like it's the hardest fight I could pick. That guy knocked me flat, and I want to fight him. That's the guy I want. So I want about 2 more amateur fights. I want to run this back with Leon, and then I want 1 more after that for sure. And then I got a couple kickboxing fights I got to do. That's just my coach's roadmap. He wants me to do that, so I'm gonna go knock those out. And then after that, it's kind of like we'll see what happens. I want to start small, but it's hard because I do know what I want to be and where I want to go. And that's the best in the world, obviously. That's what all of us are going to say because that's what all of us are doing, right? So, like, that's a very cliche, I'm going to be the best in the world kind of answer. But I want to be happy. And I think for me, that includes competition, especially right now. One thing that I have been playing with the idea of for a little while is I want to take it slow, obviously, go pro, do that kind of thing. I like the way PFLs run and stuff. They're a pretty good organization for what I can see. I'd like to go to PFL, win that belt, go to Bellator, become their champion, go to the UFC, become their champion, and I want to eventually fight for one for sure. I don't think anybody's ever been a champion of all 4 major organizations before. Even Bellator won and the UFC. Demetrius Johnson got his thing done, but he never fought for Bellator. Eddie Alvarez was the UFC champion and the Bellator champion. He didn't get it done in one. I think it'd be fun to be the first guy to make that trifecta work.
Damn, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
that's
man.
Pretty dope, man. That's a good
goal.
goal.
I'm trying to angle myself in any way I can, man. I think that's what the kind of end goal is. But I really honestly take it one fight at a time. And like we said, we meticulously game plan for each guy.
Yeah.
So it's hard to look even one fight ahead. After Leon, it's what do you want to do? I don't know, man. Leon's on the horizon, and if he's not, and Fernando is. I think I want to fight for Epic one more time because you were there at the show, so you know how weird things got afterwards. Yeah, I definitely want to fight there again and shut a lot of people up.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I've been to now, I think 3 Epic shows total, and like literally went from sitting in the regular seats to out of the finals quarter to running the event by the 3rd one. So like within the next probably like 50, which is going to be next year. Epic 50 is going to be a big one. I mean, having you on there doing like, dude, maybe we get your last fight. Like you get the fight in February, take maybe some time off to relax. Probably won't. But then you fight on Epic 50 and just go out with a fucking bang.
Go out with a bang.
Just like you can't even see you anymore. You got like 6 fucking belts
Dude.
all over you.
The funny thing about the belts, man, is the first thing I do when I get it out of the cage and everything is just hand them out. Just get these off my shoulders. Because like it's cool being like the champ, but I've seen a couple guys, and I don't mean to call nobody out, but I've seen a couple guys who won the belt at the show and had good fights, but like not crazy dominant performances. Like maybe you kind of skated that one by.
Yeah.
Like I said, my split decision wasn't anything crazy, and I'm not walking around like I'm hot shit or anything, but they walk around with a belt for a week afterwards. They take it out. And I'm like, I respect that so much. I wish I could do that, but I can't. Like the first thing I do is I hand them out, give one to my parents. The third one, I didn't even know where that came from. I'm just handing that one out. Like,
dude, I mean, that's dope though. I mean, hey, everybody's got their way.
Everyone's got their way. For me, it's never letting myself get too big-headed. Yeah. I always, like I said, man, I'm my own biggest critic, so I always try to like re-humble myself. And after the fight, it's like, all right, cool, my job's done. Like, what do you guys want to go eat? Like,
how do you re-humble yourself?
I just remind myself that I'm not that important.
Okay.
None of us are that important.
Yeah.
And the big one, and I think this is a weird one, especially for somebody that's as young as I am, is, dude, I'm gonna die one day. Mm-hmm. Like, I want to make the most out of this. And I've seen so many people in a way better position than I am, right? Professional football players, professional athletes, celebrities, man, they get a little bit of fame and they get a couple too many people going, you're the shit. And they just run with that. And they get a little bit of money behind them, man, and they start making stupid decisions. And, like, I'm just a normal dude with his own problems like everybody else. Mm-hmm. But when I get in my underwear, get in that cage and got those bright-ass lights in front of me, for some reason, man, I'm just one of the best to do it. And I love to do it. I love to compete. I love to train. I love, to get in there. So I don't know. It's not hard for me to re-humble myself because I don't walk around thinking I'm hot shit most of the time. Anyway, like I said, I'm a very passive guy for the most part. I'm kind of quirky. I play Pokemon. Like, I'm a nerdy dude. Most people would probably pick on me or try to pick on me in normal life, man. Like, I'm just a regular guy. I'm kind of nerdy, you know, like, I don't know. So for me, like, it's really not hard to kind of hit the reset button and be like, you're not shit, dude. Like, don't get too carried away. Like, it's good to remember how good you are. And sometimes when I'm by myself, I'll sit and I'll like look at the belts, or like I'll watch on my fight backs and be like, damn, like I did that. Like, it's kind of crazy. Like the Max fight, they put it on YouTube and I was watching it, dude. And I was like, holy shit. Like, dude, you did it. Like, you became the state champion. That's something I never thought would happen.
Yeah.
And you accomplished that. Like,
100%.
Dude, that's awesome. But why the fuck did you get hit with that left hand? Like, come on, son.
I mean, it's so different though, right? Like when you're fighting, do you have like a tunnel vision, or are you still like actively listening for your coaches, or are you just like, what's going on through your viewfinder?
It kind of changes as the fight goes on. There's definitely more tunnel vision times. There's a couple times when I don't remember what happened. You kind of get zoned in, you forget. And then there's other times where I feel like I hit a flow state. And that's the thing I always look for, you know, where I can hear everything. I notice the cameraman in the middle of the fight. I notice the camera guy. I can see that kid 2 rows back right there. I can see my opponent. I can hear his corner. I can hear my corner. Okay, the ref is over here. You know, where the cage wall's over here. Like, I can see everything. There's an anime called Naruto, and there's an ability in there called the Sharingan where you can effectively like see your opponent's moves. Like, let's say he threw like a 4-punch combination. I would see all 4 punches before they happen. Where I really feel like I can slow time down and I think that's where my defense comes from. Like, everything slows down around me. And that's really where I try to get to every fight, where like, you can't touch me. I'm faster than you. Nice try. Like, I see that coming. I see you're tense in your left shoulder. Like, it gets really weird. But as a competitor, I'm sure most people would agree. I mean, you've competed. I'm sure you would remember, even if it was for like a minute, only a minute, but like instances where you're like, I am untouchable. I see everything. Like, it's really weird. And the minute you think about it, like, holy fuck, this is it's gone. You lose it. But there's a little while where your brain kind of shuts off and you just allow yourself to use your muscle memory and your reflexes, and you just go. And that's really where I try to get to every fight, in just a perfect flow state.
Now, when you're like chilling at home, or do you mean like, you said to yourself earlier, like, I'm just a regular 23-year-old kid, like sometimes, but also at the same time, you're a fucking badass.
Yeah.
But you're taking your health seriously. It sounds like you're definitely working on your mental state.
Yes, all the time. That's my biggest one. That's the biggest one for me.
So do you meditate?
Meditation, I've played around with it a lot, and it's one of those things I want to do more. But like I said, dude, that voice in my head can be cynical sometimes, and I've had a couple of times where I've sat down with myself and I can't get a positive thought out. And this is after becoming state champion, where I can't get a positive thought out. I try to relax and breathe, and I'm like, you're just fucking stupid. The fuck you, like, it's really hard for me to sometimes sit down with that inner voice. But I wouldn't say like meditate from the sense of like sitting down and just breathe and blah blah blah, but I definitely meditate in the sense of like working on my mental side by acknowledging those problems, right? That's a lot of things that people run away from, like the abandonment issues. That's embarrassing, dude. Like, to admit that. Like, I was 18 years old crying for my mom. Like, certain songs would come on and I, would just get emotional. Or at tournaments, I'm at a tournament with a mean mug face on. With a mean mug face on. I'm at a tournament. We're in the semifinals, and I see this dude hug his mom, and it breaks me a little bit inside. Like, it's hard to deal with that as a man. It's hard to admit that I have weaknesses and blah, blah, blah. But I do sit with myself sometimes and go and unpack those things. Okay, why do I feel this way? And where did that come from? Mm-hmm. And what can I do to overcome that? Okay, well, X, Y, and Z. And that's how I became straight edge. That's how I haven't had a kid yet. And most people in my family at this point had done both of those things. They had started doing drugs and had a kid at that point. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of just a lot of looking inside at my own faults and unpacking them, understanding them, and trying to be the best version of myself that I can be. And that sounds really like high and mighty, but really trying to be like a kind person, like passive, whatever, but like just try to be a good person to most people.
Yeah.
Walk around like, don't fucking walk around like you're the shit. Don't, you know what I mean? Like, just be a normal dude. Just be cool. Like, be cool to people, be kind to people, compliment often. I'm very self-deprecating, but try to do it in a humorous way. That's not really self-destructive, but like, I don't know, man. I do unpack a lot with myself sometimes. So I guess if you could call that meditation, but it doesn't look like me sitting down with a crisscross applesauce with my fingers like this, in a Zen pose. But I do when I run, especially when I'm by myself, I do a lot of mental unpacking. That's kind of what I would call it.
Well, that's the same thing. Like, yeah, I mean, dude, because you train so hard, I can imagine, excuse me, that when you're training, reaching that flow state and that sort of zone, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
That could be a form of meditation. It's a form of moving meditation for sure. I mean, like, I understand though how those thoughts can come in and out because I've been meditating since I was 13. It's been a big thing.
I want to hit that level of consistency with it though, because I feel like it is such an important thing as a person, not even as an athlete, but as a person to like look at.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's like that, but also with the mental state. To what you're saying is like, bro, sometimes you can get lost in your head.
Yeah,
and those things, I think what I've learned over time is when they happen, you have to like just let them play through, and eventually that noise will get a little bit lower and a little bit lower. And then if it can't, open your eyes and then, deal with it another day, take a deep breath, regroup. But I would say as a human, bro, man, holy shit, you got to give yourself a little bit more credit. Like, yo, my G, you're worrying me about this. But like, I understand how that can do that, but I think it's just, right now you're just
trying to crush it.
You're just, full of piss and vinegar, bro. You're ready to go.
Yeah,
so it's like to slow that mind down is it would be tough. But because you are actively working so hard all the time, I think you're just doing it in more of a physical way.
Yeah, I mean, work training this hard, you definitely break your physical side down, and it makes you more mentally vulnerable, I would say. And I think that's why, I had to kind of start unpacking these things. I'm like, dude, I just had 3 fucking workouts in a day. Like, why am I upset? I should feel great right now. Why do I feel? Why do I feel like? And it would be like, I'd be laying in bed, and that's the one thing that I feel like people don't understand sometimes is like when you're laying in bed at night, just staring up at the ceiling, like, why do I feel this way? Like, dude? I have nothing to complain about. Like, everything is going good. Why am I upset? And most people, in those moments, or just in moments in general, when they don't feel good about themselves, or the abandonment thing, man. I could have looked at that and ran away from it. And a lot of people do that by drinking. It's a form of self-defense. And a lot of people do that, instead of looking at their problems, they'll kind of just like, I'm going to save that for another day. And then the other day comes, and the way that you said, you save it for another day and you tackle it with a better mindset. They run away from it again and again and again, and they never fix that shit. And it eats away at them. And I don't want to, look down and judge anyone, because like I said, I'm not better than anybody. But for me personally, that's just worked for me, man. Just unboxing my mind and really going through all the bullshit in there and taking away the victim's mentality, like, because I could look on those things and go, well, that's why I didn't win, That's why I didn't win. I was feeling like I was abandoned. I've been suicidal multiple points in my life. Like, that's why I didn't win. I got all these problems, and I could have so many people reach out. I hope you're okay, like, blah, 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 blah. It's okay, you lost. Like, but I want to be better than that. I want to deal with that. I want to fix that and become a better version of myself without having to go through the victim's mentality mindset. And anybody that's going through stuff like that, man, we all deal with it in different ways. And for some people, they need that communal support, that I hope you're okay. And for some people, that really helps them. And for them, I hope you get that help, and I hope you get that form of love that you need. Because for some people that works. And if you can help anybody out by doing that, then do it 100%. But for me, it honestly feels like a form of pity. And I don't like that, because I know I can overcome those things. So like when someone's like, oh, I'm so sorry you had to go through that. I'm like, no, it's not your fault. Yeah, it's life. People have gone through worse. People have gone through worse. And I'm going to be better for it. I'm going to be better off for it. Like, that's the way I honestly tried to look at those things. And I'm not perfect. I fail at them all the time. But you just kind of try to pick yourself back up, brush yourself off, and get back at it.
So in terms of doing all of this, you're battling with a lot of internal issues, which is amazing that you're working on yourself. So I want to commend you on that.
Thank you.
That's fucking super dope.
Thank you, man.
That's amazing. And then you're training, you're winning. You have been training for 5 years now?
Yeah, about 5 years.
So I would say are you mainly a striker? Would you say?
Actually, mostly a grappler from
grappler.
Yeah.
Okay, from the wrestling.
Because I started out with wrestling, and in my first fight, actually short notice, because I had an opponent, he pulled out, and we had to switch it up on the day before. Harvey called me up and was like, I got a guy, and I was like, I'll be there.
Yeah.
So we went in, and the guy was, I think, like a Taekwondo kickboxer from the army, something like that. And so I was like, I'm gonna grab this fucking dude because he was doing spinning kicks and stuff, and I was like, I'm not dealing with that. So I would say mostly a grappler now, but again, it kind of comes down to I'm a martial artist. That's when I feel the best.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and my best practices aren't wrestling days. You know, you come to our wrestling practice, you probably see me lose. You come to our striking days, you probably see me lose some rounds. You come to our MMA days, I'm the best guy in the room. If I'm not the best guy in the room, I'm the second best guy in the room. And I'm asking, number one, what the fuck he did different than I did. You know, MMA is just the perfect sport for me. It's the perfect culmination of skills, abilities, mindset, you know, tactical planning, understanding of physical consequences. Defense, I have better MMA defense than boxing defense. How the fuck does that work? In boxing, you have shields on your hands. But my MMA defense is better. I don't know what it is. But MMA is just the perfect sport for Anthony DeSilva. And I don't know how that happened. It just fit. It just worked.
That's dope. So do you think that, I mean, what else are you doing to work right now? What else are you doing to, like, because you said you're not making any money on the fights.
Yeah.
So what do you do to get by with your daily grind?
I am an Amazon delivery driver.
Dude, fuck yeah.
Yeah, I throw packages at people. Trying.
Yeah.
Working on it.
Yeah. Dude, wow. Good for you.
Yeah.
Seriously.
It's a pretty cool gig. I got good bosses. That's one of the main reasons I've kind of stayed with it, because our bosses are super chill, and they've been kind of lenient on, like, you don't have any sick days, but like they know what I do, so like they're really cool about, like, all right, cool, like, don't worry about it. I mean, you're still not getting paid because you're not working, but like they're not gonna get on you about it. Or like some people would have trouble getting off work for stuff like that, but they let Rebecca do the same thing. They understand she's my check for cutting weight. From people who don't know what that is, we have to make weight, obviously. So I have her as a shadow to make sure I don't pass out at any point in time when I'm cutting weight. I don't fall asleep in the bathtub. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I've helped a couple of my friends do that.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So she's my shadow during times like that because she's got all of the, I don't know. I just trust her more than a lot of people to kind of monitor that. And she knows that I make the final call on weight cuts because I'm making weight, like, regardless. But if things got too serious, I can't overrule her. Like I said, I've known her for too goddamn. She knows she's known me for too long. If she says something and it's that tone of voice, I'm like, fuck, I'm in trouble, you know. So I trust her to be my shadow for that, and they get that, so they're cool. They're cool people, and the job it's not great. I'd rather fight and get paid, you know, for the hard work I'm putting in. But I understand that it's a process, and I got a job just like everybody else, man. It's hard to walk around feeling like you're the shit when you got to put on that Amazon, you know, outfit and go deliver boxes. I work over. I deliver in Coto de Cazo. Mansions, estates. It's hard to walk around like the shit when I'm delivering packages to people like that, and it's not like a facetious thing. I don't mean that in a bad way.
No, I mean, but you know, it's funny you say that. I mean, I kind of get it, but at the same time, because you're so driven and like you have kind of like in us talking about this, you seem like you're very like, I'm gonna set this fucking goal, I'm gonna get it.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
So I would see you maybe walking up to one of the mansions and be like, damn son, I'm gonna get that.
You know
what I'm saying? Like, yo, I'm gonna get this right here. And then you're just every single day you're dropping it off, and you're like, yeah, I'm one step closer, baby.
I'm one step closer.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, one more victory, like one more close to this, one more, like, who knows? Like, my mother always says to me, when she said it since I was younger, she's like, this too shall pass. And like, you know, this or it's only temporary. Because I've had to do so many other jobs, bro. Like, I do a bunch of shit, and I don't want to walk around like I'm the shit, because at the same time, I've done Amazon, like the 12 a.m. to 4 a.m. shift, like fucking doing like the sorters and shit. Yeah. I've done that before. Dude, while I was doing everything else that I was doing, I was so ashamed. I didn't tell anybody.
Yeah.
So it's like, dude, I was like, nah, son, like, I'm doing all these things. People thinking I'm tight. But I was like, you're getting up to go to the 12 a.m. to 4 a.m. shift at Amazon.
That's real.
You know? And
That's
it's
real.
like, fuck it, though, at the same time. So it's like, yo, I know about being humbled. I know about these things. So it's like, bro, when you tell me this, like, dude, fuck yeah, good for you. Because I know that they're at least getting paid better than the fucking people in those warehouses.
Yeah.
So, like, and that's dope. And I mean, dude, right now you're young. That's the type of shit you need to do. Like, you know, like.
Oh, yeah. But before that, I was a box truck driver in downtown LA, bro. Dude. Doing the 12-hour shifts with my pops. So, like, I know how hard that is. You know, I know how hard working is. And I respect everybody, you know, from wherever they come from or whatever. And I understand some people start at a better starting point than others. You know, I mean, some people don't have to pay to train. They just can train. And I've been lucky to have a coach who can work with me through all those things. But I know some people whose parents can pay for them to full ride whatever they do. You know, they don't have to work at all. They just train. I know there's those guys. I know there's those guys that, you know, have more advantages than me. And I know there's guys with less advantages than me that are working their fucking ass off. None of that really matters. What matters is when you get in that cage What are you gonna do with it? What are you gonna do with all the hours you put in? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like I said, when I'm delivering the packages or whatever, it is hard to walk around feeling like the shit with that blue vest on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
But
know what you're talking about.
I don't know, man. Like it's cool, but at the same time, I would love my goal, like my dream, was to be an athlete, a professional athlete, and to make that like my living. So the way you talk about like all those mansions in the estates, bro, that's not even really like my goal. I don't care about having a big house. I want to not have to worry about where my next meal is coming from. I want my family not to have to worry about where their next meal is coming from. And if that means like I became a millionaire, bro, the last thing I'm gonna do is buy a mansion. The first thing I'm gonna do is make sure everybody in line is at least set. You have a decent house, got a nice car, everybody's set. Your bills are taken care of. That's more important than buying a Lamborghini, buying this mansion, doing those. Like, to me, that's my air quote dream. And there's other cool perks that would come along with that. You know, and I'm talking about this right now. Someone's going to clip me. And in 5 years, when I'm driving around with the new Corvette, people are going to be like, I thought you said this, why, you know, X, Y, and Z. There's, you know, perks that come with it. But for the most part, for me, man, it's just about not worrying about the bills and not having to go to a job I don't want to go to. I love to train. I'm an athlete, first and foremost. Athlete and competitor. The fighter is the last thing on that list because that's not who I am most of the time. Fighter comes out if I need it. You know, that third round dog comes out, I got it. In spades. You want to throw down, you want to throw leather, we can fucking do it. You know, we can go. But for the most part, that's not me. I'm an athlete. I'm a competitor for sure. You know, I'm competitive in Mario Party, bro. You know what I mean? But the most part, dude, I just want to be happy. And I want everybody around me to be happy. And that doesn't mean rich and well off and anything like that. It just means I don't want to wake up to a job that I don't want to go to every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because training doesn't feel like work. Mm-hmm. I love to train. You know what I mean? So if I get paid to train and fight and compete, bro, I'm doing that anyway. I'm paying people right now to do that. Imagine if I got paid to do that, bro. That's people really underestimate how cool that is. And I think a lot of professional athletes get to that point and they start forgetting how cool that is. Mm-hmm. That's a job. Like that's a real life job right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. Like your whole job is to just get in there and entertain and to bang out.
I feel like I could do that pretty much free. You know,
I mean, you're already doing it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, man. I'm like, dude, if I got paid to do that like that, that's literally the dream. Like that's literally living the dream.
Dude, fucking A, man. Well, dude, you know, we're coming up. Like we're almost done. I definitely wanted to just say like, I'm really excited that we're gonna like get some footage together. We're gonna do some filming and stuff like that. So that's gonna be coming for the next couple of weeks. So everybody will be on the lookout for that. And dude, and I mean, just anything else you wanted to say before you get out of here? I mean, I know you drove down from Ontario to be on the show today.
No worries, man. It was a good day out in San Diego. Again, it's not my favorite place after the way the people handled that last fight. But we went to the zoo, saw some animals, hung out. It was a pretty good day with my girl, and then came out here and got to talk with you. Got to be on a fucking podcast, which again, all day, bro, I was fanboying out. Like, I'm going to be on a podcast. Dude, it was tight. I was so stoked. I was so stoked, man.
Yes.
A little nervous, you know. I was nervous, you know, thinking about what I'm going to say. Like, it was a cool day, man. It was fun out here in San Diego. Parting words wouldn't really be anything too crazy. It would just be like, I appreciate anybody who's tuned in and still listening to this point, because we've been talking for a long time. Mm-hmm. And I feel like we could talk for another however many hours we've been talking. Easy. No problem. Yeah. Anybody who has listened to this point, dude, I just appreciate you. And, you know, from the bottom of my heart, man, anybody who does support me throughout this journey, dude, like, I really appreciate it. Because I've been in that place where I felt like nobody had my back. And now, like, I got people reaching out to me that I don't even know, saying, like, good shit, man, this and that. Like, sometimes it's a little overwhelming because I'm very like close knit, you know, kind of person. I don't let too many people in. I've got a lot of friends. It's a very tight team, but dude, I really just appreciate anybody who's on this journey with me. And you know, you show love to me, I'm gonna show love back to you. And I really appreciate anybody who's even listening at this point and tuning in to see me fight and knows who I am. You know, that's all I've ever dreamt of. So thank you,
dude. Fuck yeah, G, dude. Give me some on this, my G. Yes, Anthony, dude. By far, like hands down, a lot of the shit you said, man, like for me at least, it's like you're a little bit wise beyond your years. I really respect the fact that, you know, that nobody's had your back before, but at the same time, you know, like I've definitely had to deal with shit like that in my life. But like my favorite thing that I want to say to you is like, bro, sometimes, and I think you're good at it, is you got to have your own back.
You got to have your own back.
And
first and foremost,
you're number one fan, bro. Like, hey, I know you have a team behind you, and that's no shade to your team, because I understand I have a team too. But at the end of the day, bro, like, especially for you, from what we talked about, is like, when you look in the mirror, bro, it's like, I'm the fucking best, son.
I'm
like,
the best.
You know what I'm saying? I'm the best.
You know
like,
what?
Yo.
You know what, bro? Rose Namajunas, that she coined that I'm the best.
Dude,
but when I hit those dark days, man, or the hard part, I'm the best.
Yeah.
You gotta remind you, motherfucker, bring him out because I need him right now. I'm the best.
Yep.
And I gotta show that I'm the best right now. I gotta dig deep. I gotta bring that out. So definitely keeping that as like an ace in the hole. You know, if I need it, I am the best.
Dude,
and I can bring that out.
Dude.
And I don't gotta walk around and act like it.
Nah.
But I am the best. So you want to play? You know, we can play. You put your name on that fucking paper. You sign that dotted line. I'm the best. Ooh. You fucked up. You made a grave error. I'm gonna win regardless. I don't care if it. You know, I don't care how. I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win. I'm gonna do whatever it takes.
We're gonna leave it right there. That's what we're gonna leave it right there.
On that.
All right, my G. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Peace. Yes, thank you so much, Anthony. Amazing conversation. Loved it. That dude has such a bright future, and I'm super stoked to see his next fight. So again, Anthony, thank you so much for cruising through, brother. Really appreciate you. And guys, I just want to say, like usual, I want to say I appreciate every single one of you who continue to support Caffeine and Green every single week. Whether you're listening to the podcast, ordering coffee, or getting merch off the website, I appreciate every single one of you. So guys, again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. And if you need anything I just mentioned, head on over to www.caffeineandgreenroasting.com today for all of your coffee needs. And guys, that's it. I just want to say thank you again for listening to the podcast this week. Let everybody know what it is. Caffeine and Green is what it is. And I will see y'all next week. Peace!